September 23, I think it was, the media got a hold of his story first. And it was all over news and that. The council then said, right, we better put out letters and get people down for meetings. We thought we was going down to sit in a hall with loads of people, officers from the council. They were going to talk us through. We were going to be able to ask questions. It didn't happen. There was 2 trees falling over there, and we'd phoned and reported them maybe about 4 months, 5 months before all this hit. They says, oh, they'll come and cut them down. They didn't come and cut them down. 5 months later, then we got the letters in. So I think they must have known prior, well before we got the letters, what their decision was going to be. Because then they stopped taking care of the area. This was like a community within a community. We all kept everything nice and neat. And all that's gone now. We went down and were taken one by one into a hall, sat at a table with someone from the council, asked a couple of questions such as, any issues with your house? And I did have damp. It wasn't like it was a damp, mouldy house. It was just water coming in because one of the seals on the window was broken. She says, oh, we'll get someone around. It was another couple of months before someone knocked at the door. And he says, oh, you've got damp in your house. And I said, yeah. I said, do you want to come in? He says, no, it's okay. You've told me that what's happening. And he left. And I thought, okay, I've sat in the whole day waiting for you, but you can go now. So we heard nothing again. By this time, many stories were being circulated. Oh, they're knocking down the houses. They're going to be doing this. They're going to be doing that, like making a road for the harbour. But there was quite a few stories that come from people that worked in the council. And I remember one guy saying to me, oh, they're going to knock these houses down. I went, no, they won't. I said, too many houses. They'll have to fix them. Where are they going to put everyone? And I was the one right up until the end that was like, they won't be knocking down the houses. The council should have taken us in and said, you know what, we're having a meeting. Everyone's more than welcome to come. And then put the story out to the media. I don't know who leaked the stories. They were leaked twice anyhow. And twice the council then gave us letters. There was no apology that, you know, we're sorry that you had to learn through the media. There was no apology at all. Even though a lot of this is council land, we kept this. We didn't wait for the council to come in and cut it. We all cut it and we got rid of all the weeds, even along here. The whole area's just been left to rack and ruin before the decision was even made. The bin just up here, it wasn't emptied for over a month. But in between this, not being emptied, the fly tippers were coming down, just dumping stuff. So then the people that were left here couldn't get to the bin, so they had to go to look for other bins. And I think it was like 3 days prior to the walkabout with the officials. They were down, emptying all the bins, cleaning all the streets, cutting all the grass. We kind of thought to ourselves, you know, why are you coming around now? Because you knew what issues we had. You fixed the issues before you come down for your walkabout. So then when we did the walkabout, there wasn't as many issues. This lady here, I mean, when she left, she didn't leave any of this here. This is people dumping stuff. She was actually told that she may have to pay to get this cleaned up. There was fiberglass insulation that was left. Now, if kids had gotten into that, it would like aggravate their skin and stuff. Now, this is going back about 4 months ago. I contacted the council about this. It's still sitting there. Because of the stories that was going around, panic started setting in. Then we had another meeting with the council officers in our homes, sat down, and we was told no matter what's going to happen, you're going to have to move out your house. You can either pick whatever type of house or an area, but you couldn't pick both. If it was a single person, you were getting a 1-bedroomed house. So you're maybe moving from a 3-bedroomed into a 1-bedroomed house. My grandson lives with me a lot of the time, and I was told I was getting a 1-bedroomed, and I was like, no, I need at least 2 bedrooms. And I actually had to fight to get the 2 bedrooms. I had to go down to the school and speak to the school. Does her grandson stay with her? How much input does she have with him? So they had to, speak to the school to prove that I wasn't lying. And we were told, once the house is knocked down and rebuilt, there will be a chance that you can move back in. But then this also said that it could take 5 to 10 years to complete the plan that they've got. A couple of years I'm staying in a house. You don't want to have the upheaval again. But now we're coming back on to the homeowners that live here, which, I mean, they're not willing to move. Some of them's only had the house a couple of years and spent a fortune on it. They're not going to get that money back. This one here, I mean, he's been moved out for a while now, but because they're not offering him what his house is worth, he's not selling it yet. I mean, all his back garden was all fenced in and that, and it's all been stolen. They spent so much time, energy, and love on their back garden and their front garden, like many of us did, only to have it left like this and bulldozed over. We'd be a couple of people that would like to move back here. Their families are here, their friends are here. My son, my daughter-in-law, and my grandson, and my granddaughter live in Torry. So I have to come over and see them every day because they don't drive. There's another lady that used to live here. She moved to Bridge of Dawn. She cries every day. And the only time she sees her family is when she comes over to Torry in the car. And then when that does happen, she can't go into anyone's houses because they've all got stairs, and this woman's got additional support needs, and she can't manage the stairs. So she's totally isolated. But the houses they're moving us into, they're not fit for beast. Full of damp, full of mold, water pouring through them. Now, we never had that here as such. A lady that just moved out of this area here this week, she moved into her new house, and there was a gap between the skirting board and the floor. The floor had actually been sinking in because there was a leak. So they'd gone in and painted and never mentioned about the leak. So the whole floor got damaged. Constantly, I'm phoning the council. Can I get an inspector works done? This is needing done, that's needing done. And then you've got to wait maybe a month for an appointment. Then he comes in. Oh, you've got mold, we'll paint over it. You need to get rid of it. You need to solve the issue first before you do any kind of work, because it's going to keep coming back. I've been in my house nearly a year now, my new house, nearly a year, and I've only done the bathroom and the hallway. It should be finished by now. Nice area, nice garden, but inside the house is just awful. One of the gas guys had tried a RAAC committee member's house with his master key to come in and read the meter. She still lives in the house. This is the one that they broke into. And stole all the gas piping from underneath. They stole her cooker, stole light fixtures, shower, even the shower. They stole everything. Do you imagine knowing that you've spent so much money and putting a lot of love and thought into making a house your home, to come back one day and to see it just ransacked? There was a guy that lived at the end house, and they moved him and the downstairs neighbour out because the tarry stuff that's on top of the roofs, that had come off, blown off. So they went and got a company in to fix it. And instead of saying to the guy, we're knocking down your house anyhow, so we're going to move you into a new property, they put him into a hotel for weeks and then moved him back here. And now he's had to move back out again. People tried to break in and stole many of our stuff. 5 o'clock one morning, they were alerted with someone trying their door. They had quite a lot of garden stuff here. When they come out to confront them, the woman had says, oh, I was told this house was empty. And then she tried to get into the house while the people were in it. And then the week after, someone else tried to break in. Twice the police were called and twice nothing was done about it. If you was to drive about Torry, apart from these houses, there are so many empty houses. Between Lauriston and Glumbervie Road, in the blocks of 6 flats, I counted 15 empty ones. And when I'd been speaking to people from them, it says people don't want to move into them. They're full of damp. Water coming through the roof, water coming through the walls. And for as many times as they've complained to the council, it never gets fixed. These houses could be maintained and let to people that's desperate for houses. They say that there's so many people that's homeless. You know, make sure your property's up to standard and give these people homes. Council won't do it. See, they did the pitched roofs here. Seemingly, when they did pitched roofs, there was no word of the roofs having RAAC at all at that point. Nothing at all. And then a lot of people thought, oh, you know what, I stay in a pitched roof house. My roof's fine. But it's not. No one's safe from a council for this demolition. This guy's been out of here for about 9 months now, and his windows are opened. This house isn't secure, so it's leaving it wide open for vandals, for children, for homeless people trying to break in and setting it alight or whatever else. All of us that lived here had been here for about 23 to 25 years. And we were so close. I mean, if someone went away on holiday, we would all take care of their house. We wouldn't be in their house, but we would like walk around to make sure the house was okay. Or they'd come in and feed your cats and your dogs. If you needed a hospital appointment, someone would be there to drive you up to the hospital. I don't have the same feeling of a community or being in a family situation with people that's not blood. I don't have that where I am. Denise doesn't have it where she is. Janice doesn't. Shona and Stacey, they don't have it where they are now. Steph, that live next door, they've moved into a block of flats. The stairs are killing them. So they took a bad move in moving into a block of flats. It's just, we come down now and then and we'll look and we think, "Oh, I'm not coming back. I can't see that again." Because this was my house with a fence right around, and I was told to leave the flooring outside. Council would come and collect it. Still sitting there. I would get up in the morning and I'd let the dogs out. Then I'd sit here and have a coffee. Denise would have her coffee, and we'd be speaking over the fence. I'd take my grandson down to school, and then I'd go and would sit in Denise's part of our garden. But if I wasn't up by a certain time, Denise would come through, or she'd phone me through. If there was no answer, she would come through because she had a key, and just to make sure that I was okay. Now, we don't have that now. None of us have that now. This is a bin area that was never, it's never been kept by the council. It was always kept nice and neat. Even the weeds and everything. We did that, not the council. And to come down and go, so heartbreaking. I mean, the council know that there's no one in this house. So why not just cut their grass as well? Make it all the same. Why not get rid of the weeds? Okay, I know no one's living in these houses. But, you know, make the area a little bit more respectable. I know one guy that says, you know, I'm struggling here. I'm going to have to go bankrupt. And because I have to go bankrupt, I'm going to lose my job. Because he works in finance. He says, there's no other way out of it. He says, I can't afford to take out a bigger mortgage than what I'm paying, or still pay off the mortgage and pay rent. So he's going to have to go bankrupt, lose his good credit rating, and lose his job, which then means he loses his car because he can't afford a car. I don't think the officers actually realise, or the politicians actually realise what this is actually doing. I mean, we're not a rich area. We don't have thousands of pounds sitting in a bank to go out and just spend it on willy-nilly or go and get the roofs fixed. We're a regeneration area. People say these houses are they're quite ugly. They may be ugly, but they were our homes, and we took care of the area that we lived. It was kept nice and neat, and even though it was a regeneration area, this was still our homes and our community that we took care of, and we took care of each other as well.